Imagine you're sitting alone, thinking about all the things you want in life. A beautiful house, a dream job, recognition from others, or simply a more comfortable life than you have now. Everyone has ambitions. Me, you, all of us. But be honest with yourself. How many times have you left those ambitions on paper? In your head, or in some exciting conversation. And then, nothing happened? The biggest gap in life is not the gap between rich and poor. Nor is it the gap between smart people and average people. The biggest gap is between wanting and doing. You want to succeed, but you don't act. You want to change, but you procrastinate. You want to be healthy, but you can't get out of bed to exercise. And it is this invisible gap that is burying all your ambitions. The problem for most people is not a lack of dreams. In fact, we dream a lot. Your ambitions may reach the sky, but without action, they are just clouds floating in the air. You feel like you have a plan. You have a desire, but you don't actually put the first brick to build it. Then the plan is just a blueprint, never a house. And here's the scary truth. Laziness is the most dangerous enemy you have. It doesn't make a loud noise. It doesn't destroy you all at once. It's quiet. It's like a sleeping pill that's slowly trickled into your day. You think, just take 10 more minutes. You think, I'll do it tomorrow. You think, it'll be fine. But do you know what? It's those little choices that are killing your ambition day by day. Ask yourself, if you are ambitious but lazy, can you achieve anything? Can you really be rich if you only dream every day instead of taking action? Can you really be healthy if you only read health books but never exercise? Can you be respected if you only talk about your dreams but never make them come true? They say, actions speak louder than words. And that's true. No one cares what you say you want. They just care about what you're doing to get there. Think about the times you've set a goal for yourself. How many times did you actually follow through? Or did you start out enthusiastic and then give up halfway through? I want you to think about this. Ambition is never enough. If laziness is still there, you can dream of a better tomorrow. But it is you who decides whether that tomorrow will come or not. Not luck, not help from others, but your actions today. You see, life is cruelly fair. The lazier you are, the more you lose. On the contrary, the more you act, the closer you get to your dream. Success never comes by accident. It is the result of small efforts repeated every day. So, right now, I want you to ask yourself a serious question. Do I really want to achieve what I'm dreaming of? And if the answer is yes, am I ready to give up this laziness and start taking action? Remember, you don't have to change everything overnight. You just have to start small. Take the first step, and most importantly, don't let your ambition die in laziness. Think of your ambition as a fire. It can flare up very strongly in the moment when you imagine a better future. You want a successful career, a healthy body, a life of abundance and freedom. That fire makes you enthusiastic, like holding in your hand a map that leads to treasure. But do you know, the map is only valuable if you actually take a step. If you just sit still, that map is nothing more than a piece of paper. And that fire of ambition, without the fuel of action, will sooner or later die out. The biggest enemy of dreams is not lack of intelligence, nor bad luck, but laziness. It does not appear clearly, does not scream loudly, but hides in very small, very ordinary decisions, like the way you press the snooze button to sleep for 5 more minutes. Like the way you tell yourself, I can start tomorrow. But each time like that, you do not know that you are digging a hole to bury your own dream. Laziness is like a sweet poison. It does not kill you immediately, but it will slowly destroy your ambition. The danger is that the pain of laziness does not come immediately. Today you are lazy. You are fine. This week you procrastinate. Things have not collapsed. But at some point, when you look around and see that others have come a long way, while you are still standing still, the pain will come. At that time, you will understand. Being lazy today means having to pay the price tomorrow. And at that time, all excuses are meaningless. Ambition without action only makes you a good talker, but never has anything to prove. Have you ever met people who talk about their plans for hours? But years later, nothing has changed? They know what they want. They tell the world about it, but they never get around to doing it. That's the hallmark of lazy, ambitious people. More talk than action. They also often choose instant comfort over difficulty. You might recognize this. Instead of opening your laptop to work on a project, you pick up your phone and scroll through social media. Instead of spending an hour learning a new skill, you choose to binge watch a TV series. Every moment you spend doing this, you are giving laziness the power to control your life. Another manifestation, and the most common, is living in a success illusion. You think that just having the desire is enough. But remember, the world does not reward dreamers. It only recognizes those who make their dreams come true. You can talk about a dream all your life, but if you do not act on it, you are just lulling yourself into a beautiful dream. And then, when you face the fact that you haven't done anything, you start to console yourself. I'm waiting for the right time. I need a little more motivation. I'll start next week. But the truth is that next week never comes. Because if you don't do it today, tomorrow you'll find another reason to procrastinate. It's an endless cycle of laziness. I want you to be honest with yourself right now. Are you doing any of these things? Are you talking more than doing? Choosing comfort over effort, living in a fantasy of success, or telling yourself, I'll get started? If the answer is yes, then it's time to wake up. Because ambition without action is like a dream locked in a drawer. And every day you procrastinate, you lock it up again. If you really want to break out of that loop, you have to face the truth. Laziness is not harmless. It is stealing your opportunities. Day by day, hour by hour, and only you can stop it by taking action now. Imagine, you have a very big ambition. You want to build a career, to reach a position that many people look up to. However, day by day, you let laziness win. You miss small things. Do not complete tasks that seem insignificant. And then, one day, you start to lose faith in yourself. You think, if I can't even do small things, how can I take on bigger things? That is the first price that laziness makes you pay. Your confidence is eroded little by little. What happens next? Your ambitions start to morph. At first, you want to reach high. But when you're faced with the reality that you're not getting any further, you start lowering your standards. Instead of saying, I want to build my own business, you say, I'll be fine with a steady job. Instead of dreaming of being a leader, you think, maybe I'll just be a follower. In other words, you're twisting your ambitions to fit your laziness, rather than raising yourself up to match your ambition. While you procrastinate, others are moving forward. Think of a friend your age. Where are they when you say, I'll do it tomorrow? They're learning a new skill. They're waking up early to practice. They're taking steps to get closer to their goals. And then, in just a few years, the gap between you and them will become a chasm that's hard to bridge. You're not just slowing down, you're falling behind. And the biggest price you will have to face is regret. Imagine, looking back 10 years later, you are still standing right where you started. Meanwhile, those people who you used to think, they're not smarter than me, not much better than me, now have the life you dreamed of. That is the real pain. The pain when you realize that laziness has stolen a decade from you. Stoicism has a sobering and straightforward view of this. Marcus Aurelius once said, act as if today were your last. That is, don't let laziness take over today. Because you can't be sure how many days you have left to live. To contribute, to pursue your dreams, Stoicism also points out a simple but sharp truth. Laziness does not come from weakness, but from letting your emotions guide you instead of your mind. Your emotions always want comfort. They want to stay in bed longer. They want to eat another delicious meal instead of exercising. They want to have fun instead of working hard. Your mind, on the other hand, knows exactly what you need to do, to act, to work hard, to move forward every day. The question is, who do you let take control of? If you let your emotions decide, you'll be lazy. But if you let your reason guide you, you'll take action. And action, no matter how small, is the only thing that can save you from regret later. So the price of laziness is not just a few missed opportunities. It is losing confidence in yourself, distorting your ambitions, being left behind, and ultimately carrying a lifetime of regret. But you still have a choice. And that choice lies in today. Will you let your emotions rule? Or will your reason guide you? Are you ambitious, but feel like you're being held back by laziness? Remember this. Laziness can only be defeated by action. And sometimes that action doesn't have to be big. Just one small step, right now, can open up a chain of big changes in your life. Instead of waiting for motivation, start with the simplest thing. Get up, clear your desk, write down an idea, take a 10-minute walk. You'll be surprised to find that one small action can create momentum for a series of other actions. But you're probably thinking, my ambition is so big, I feel overwhelmed just thinking about it. And that's the problem. Having a big ambition is like seeing a towering mountain. You'll never get there if you keep looking at the whole mountain at once. Instead, break it down into small steps. Daily goals. Write down specific steps you can take today. When you focus on one small step instead of the whole mountain, it's much easier to get started. It's also important to understand that inspiration is never reliable. You can wait for it, but most of the time, it won't come. If you wait for inspiration, you'll probably never get started. Successful people don't do things because they're inspired. They do things because they're disciplined. Discipline means you do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. And over time, the actions you repeat every day become habits. Once they become habits, you won't have to fight yourself so much. Additionally, your environment can have a big impact on your behavior. If you want to work but you're sitting next to the TV with a movie queue, you're more likely to give in to temptation. So create an environment that forces you to do it. Cut out distractions. Put yourself in a situation where you have no choice but to act. For example, if you want to exercise, have your workout clothes ready next to your bed. If you want to write, turn off social media during that time. When your environment changes, your behavior will change. And here's something incredibly powerful that few people do. Remind yourself of the costs of procrastination. Don't just think about what you'll gain if you succeed. Write down the failure scenarios if you continue to procrastinate. Visualize what you'll be like in 5 years if you're still where you are now. This pain, when clearly defined, becomes a powerful motivator to act now. Look at real-life examples. Elon Musk, despite being one of the richest people in the world, sleeps only 6 hours a day and works 80 to 100 hours a week. Kobe Bryant, basketball legend, started practicing at 4 a.m. when the rest of the world was still sleeping. They weren't born geniuses in every way. They simply refused to let laziness win. On the contrary, failures often say, I will start later. But the truth is that later never comes. Because if you don't start today, tomorrow you will find another reason to procrastinate. So the golden rule is simple. You don't have to be the best today. You just have to be better today than you were yesterday. Just add one small step, 1% more effort, and you'll be amazed at what you can achieve in a year, 5 years, or 10 years. And finally, remember this. Ambition alone is not enough to get you there. Ambition is just the flame. Action is the fuel. And if you really want your dreams to come true, then start today, not tomorrow, not next week, but now. You can have a fancy, shiny car, but if the gas tank is empty, it will sit there forever. Ambition is like that car. It can make you feel like you have something great. But without fuel, and fuel in this case is action, ambition will take you nowhere. The scary thing is that laziness doesn't kill you right away. It's like a poison that slowly seeps in, bit by bit, and slowly kills you with regret. Today you're lazy, and you still feel fine. Tomorrow you procrastinate, and you still don't see the obvious consequences. But then one day, you look back and realize how many opportunities and years you've missed. Just because you let laziness control you. At that point, regret is no longer a fleeting feeling, but a burden that weighs heavily on your entire life. So if you really want to change, don't wait. Don't wait for inspiration. Don't tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow. Because the truth is, tomorrow doesn't exist. Today, right now, is the only moment you really have. And if you don't act now, chances are you never will. Start right after this video ends. It doesn't have to be anything big. Just a small action that actually gets done. Get up, write down a specific goal. Finish that one thing you've been putting off for too long. These small actions are the first bricks that build the bridge from ambition to success. Remember, success doesn't come to the most ambitious person. The world doesn't reward pipe dreams. Success comes to those who have the discipline to turn their ambitions into action every day. It's discipline that separates the successful from the rest. So, if you're listening to this, I want you to seriously ask yourself, do you want to be the person who has dozens of dreams that never come true? Or do you want to be the person who dares to start, dares to take action, and dares to turn ambition into results? The answer lies within you, and the decision to start or not to start is now. If you've made it this far, it's not just a coincidence. Perhaps the universe is sending you a sign that you're ready for a journey of personal transformation. What you've just heard is not just theory, but a practical experience for those who are patient enough and have the desire to grow. Maybe just one idea in this video will open up a new path for you, a step forward that you have been looking for. I can't promise that your life will change overnight, but I can assure you, if you really listen and practice, in a few months you will no longer be the same version of yourself. If you feel connected to what you just heard, leave a link to let me know you are along. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to continue receiving profound values on the journey of inner growth and spiritual enlightenment.